Okay, we're recording. How you guys doing? My name is Ty. This is my wife, Amy. We are Night Horse Theater Company, and usually we come into your classroom at Bayshore, but because we are stuck in our house like everyone else in the United States, under self-quarantine for COVID-19 and all of its nasty stuff, we thought we'd do some Romeo and Juliet for you like this. Now, we're not really brilliant because we're both old and we don't know a lot about like video stuff. So we're just gonna do kind of like what we normally do, and you guys can like watch it. And my wife is laughing at me because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple things for you. Maybe we'll do it in different bits and bites so that you can kind of fast forward. So the first part we'll do for you guys is the first time that Romeo meets Juliet. She being Juliet, I being Romeo. If you guys know, they meet at a party, a masked ball at the Capulet Mansion, and she's wearing a costume, I'm wearing a costume. We're in our quarantine costumes today, which means we're wearing like our jammies. But she's like in this beautiful like ball gown, and she's got a mask on, and Romeo's like, I don't know, bare-chested, and I don't know what he is, but he's got a mask on too. And they're at this party. They're at this party with all these people because the Capulet house has invited everyone who is anybody to this big party they're throwing. And he sees Juliet across the room, and he says, "She doth teach the torches to burn bright," which loosely translates into, "She is so hot." So he knows he needs to speak with her, so he goes across the dance floor, and he takes her by the hand. Now, when he grabs her by the hand, she gets a little wigged out because this is a strange boy. He just comes up and he starts grabbing her. But he says, "If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss." And he goes to kiss her hand. She pulls it away because she's a little freaked out. And yet she says back to him,
"Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this, for saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy Palmer's kiss."
"Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too?"
"Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer."
"Oh then, dear saint, let lips do as hands do. They pray. Grant thou, lest faith turn to despair."
"Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake."
"Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take." And they smooch for the first time. We won't bother you with the whole smooching thing because I know you guys are like totally like,
Besides, can't spread germs.
can't do that. Yeah, it's not. It's COVID-19. 6 feet. So they smooch. Now, of course, this being Romeo and Juliet and not a Disney movie, they are immediately pulled apart. She by her nurse, he by his friends. He gets yanked out into the Verona night. She back upstairs to brush her teeth and put on her jammies. But before they get separated, she asks her nurse, "Go find out that boy's name." The nurse comes back and says his name is Romeo and a Montague. Bad juju for you. He in turn asks the nurse what that girl that I danced with, her name. That's Juliet Capulet, only daughter to Rich Capulet, and totally out of your league, boy, so you should just go away. But he can't go away. He ditches his friends in the middle of the night, runs back to Juliet's orchard, where he climbs her orchard walls and finds himself in her backyard, which is not a good place for him to be, because he being a Montague, she being a Capulet, not good if they find a Montague boy in their orchard,
backyard.
in the Capulet backyard. So he immediately hides in the bushes. Now, this being my living room, you have to use your imagination. Juliet is up on a balcony, way up there, like 20, 25 feet.
I need some help getting up
Here
there.
we go. She's going up. Oh, she's up on the balcony.
Here we are.
Now, she's really up high, and he's down low, hiding in the bushes, as I said. Now, as he hides in the bushes, he looks up, and he sees her bedroom window, at which point he has one of the biggest and longest and most beautiful speeches in the whole play. It was actually the first speech that I ever memorized when I was your age and I was in high school and was assigned that assignment that you will get assigned at some point in your high school careers. You have to memorize a monologue from Shakespeare and recite it in front of the class. And this is the one that I memorized and recited. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. He sees her. She's over there talking to herself, but she does not say anything out loud. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. And he goes to talk to her, and he loses his nerve at the last moment. No, it is not to me she speaks, he says. And then he looks and he sees her eyes, two of the fairest stars in all the heavens, having some business to entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, and they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright, that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
I mean...
At which point she really does speak, and he freaks out. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals, that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo. Oh, Romeo. Oh, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is neither hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes. Without that title, Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take the attention.
Wow!
That was really loud, especially in my living room. Now, she freaks out because he jumps out of the bushes and calls to her very poetically. I take thee at thy word, he says. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Baptism, where we get our names. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo. Now, of course, she can't see him because it's pitch black.
Crap, I'm looking right at you.
Middle of the night. She doesn't know who this is. Some strange boy has just jumped out of her bushes, and she calls out through the darkness.
What man art thou that thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
And in that instant, she knows exactly who it is. He gives her a clue. More than one.
He calls her dear saint, which, if you remember back to what they said to each other on the dance floor, he called her dear saint. Now, girls, if a boy, especially a handsome boy, was to call you a dear saint within the span of about 12 and a half minutes, you might remember. And she knows exactly who it is, and she calls out through the night.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words that thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. And she finds him in the darkness. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike. And in that moment, he's ready to give up both his first name and his last name, which means he gives up his family, he gives up his fortune, he gives up everything for her.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place, death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls. For stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love, that first did prompt me to inquire. I lent him counsel, and he lent me eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore, washed with the farthest sea, I should adventure for such merchandise.
Oh, thou know'st the mask of night is on my face. Else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell, compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. Gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I'm too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay. So thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond. Therefore thou mayst think my behaviour light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love's passion. Therefore pardon me and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Now that's a lot of yapping. For those of you out there keeping score at home, let's run that back one more time in modern English so we can all understand what she's talking about.
Okay.
We're rolling.
I am so totally embarrassed over what I said tonight. I would take it all back. I would take every single word of it back. I would, but I don't want to take any of it back because I want you to know that's how I feel about you. But this is the way that I want you to find out that's how I feel about you. No, let's just start this whole thing over again. Why don't you just tell me that you love me?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
God, I can't tell you to tell me that you love me because you have to tell me that you love me. If I have to tell you to tell me that you love me, it probably means you don't really love me in the first place.
No,
That's a terrible place to start this relationship off. And you're lying, God's getting ground like lighting in your head, and your hair looks really good like that, and I wouldn't want to mess it at all. I don't know what I could do. I don't know what. Oh, I know what I could do. I could act like I don't like you. I don't know why girls do this. Girls act like they don't like the boy. When they act like they don't like the boy, this boy seems to like me even more. And when the boy acts like they like me even more, they're like, "Oh, you smell that. Back off." And then the boy's next to them all the time, and for you to be next to me all the time would be so amazing. But I don't want you to think that I think that she's not. I don't want you to think that I think you smell bad. You know, this is not the way that I wanted this to happen at all. I just thought that I was up here talking to the moon and the stars, but then you had to come out and jump out of my bushes.
Something like that.
Diarrhea.
This is what we call diarrhea of the mouth. Now, yeah, quiet down over there. Little peanut gallery, I don't need you giving clues. This is my daughter over there. She knows.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
Shh, quiet. Now, having heard all that, she told him, don't swear, this is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden. But you know what? What does he do? He being the teenager that he is, he's an idiot. So he starts swearing, lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow, that tips with silver all these fruit trees.
Swear not by the moon.
Oh, crap.
The inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
I swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my dear heart's love...
Oh, do not swear! Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning, which shall cease to be ere one can say it, light and sweet. Good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. As sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
And she goes to leave, and he says, no, will you leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it for what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again, and yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
And this is the moment, right here. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. Now, at this moment, she gets yanked away by her nurse. Her nurse can call from the other room, going, "Rah, rah, rah." She has to leave. Leaving Romeo there alone. She says, stay but a little, I will come again. Oh, blessed, blessed night, he says. I am afeard, being in night, all this is but a dream. Too flattering, sweet, to be substantial. And then she comes back in.
Hist,
She tries to find him.
Romeo. Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tasseled gentle
And
back
remember,
again.
he's hiding in the bushes again.
Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud. Else would I tear the cave where Echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name.
She wants to scream his name, but she can't. She can't. So she goes to leave again, and he says, "My niece!" He climbs up to the balcony. Climb, 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 climb. And she's freaked out, but she goes, "Oh my gosh, here you are." And he goes, "Yes, here I am."
If thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Yes, if you think that's quick, it is quick. They just met, like tonight, at a dance. They danced, they talked, they smooched, and now, after this little conversation, she already wants to get married. This is serious. The nurse is still calling her, trying to drag her away. Keep going. Come on.
You cut me off with my thing.
Yeah, there's more stuff.
There's more stuff.
I gotta go.
I gotta go. I'll
No,
see you later.
no, don't leave it.
What? Why not?
Come back, do your bit again. Purpose, be marriage.
Yeah, if your person marries, send me word of tomorrow, but when that I'll procure to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world. I come anon, but if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee. By and by I come to cease thy strife and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worst to want thy light. And she goes again, and sis goes, "Oh man, this is crap. She's left me, and I didn't even get a smooch." And then she comes back again.
Hist!
Right?
Romeo! Hist!
Yeah.
Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel
We
back.
already did that bit. Skip it. We're going to skip on to the good part. All right, skip on to the good
Romeo.
part. Finally comes back up.
What
Right.
o'clock tomorrow shall I send for thee?
We already did this by the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I forgot why I did call thee back.
Whoa, you forgot a lot of stuff tonight. But let me stand here till I remember it.
I shall forget.
What? Why?
Have thee still stay there. Remembering how I love thy company.
Smooches are coming up, yeah. And I'll still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. And I would have thee gone.
Oh.
But yet no farther than a wanton's bird that lets it hop a little from its hand, like a poor prisoner in its twisted gyves, with a silken thread plucks it back again, so loving, jealous of its liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night.
Smooches.
Good night.
More smooches.
Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
And there's more smooching. And she leaves. And she goes off to the nurse, brushes his teeth. He runs off to his friends. And then there's a lot of killing and all that kind of stuff. But that's the balcony scene. Very famous balcony scene. I hope it wasn't too long. Hope you guys have other stuff to do, like fun stuff. But that gives you a little bit. And if we can do some more stuff later, maybe we'll send you guys some more Romeo and Juliet. We thank you guys for watching us, Ty and Amy and Night Horse Theater Company, and my daughter Bridget and my son Declan, who you might have heard in the background. My son, who is running the camera. Oh, there she is. All right, get off the camera. Here's the other one. Duh, get away. All right, press stop. Bye, guys.